Look at this. Raw, crushed garlic. It is so intensely saturated with highly potent sulfur compounds that it chemically burns your tongue if you chew it straight. Common sense tells you that eating this sharp, pungent bulb right before bed is a terrible idea. You would naturally expect heartburn, an upset stomach, and a restless night of sleep. But biologically, when this exact reactive sulfur enters your digestive tract right before you sleep, it triggers the exact opposite response. Within 30 minutes, these active molecules initiate a physiological shift that stops one of the most frustrating things your body does at night, waking you up at 3 a.m. with a dry mouth and a hammering heart, unable to fall back asleep. Most people blame anxiety or an overactive brain for this 3 a.m. wake-up call. They assume their nervous system is simply overstimulated, but they are treating the wrong organ. The reason you are suddenly staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night has nothing to do with your thoughts. It is because your liver is failing to complete a critical function. At 2 a.m., your liver attempts to clear metabolic waste and heavy metals from your bloodstream. It is demanding biological labor, but if your liver lacks the specific chemical raw materials to finish the job, the detoxification process stalls. This metabolic overload causes your body to release cortisol to keep the system running, and you wake up. But the sulfur from the garlic changes this. It triggers the release of nitric oxide to physically expand your blood vessels, promotes serotonin production, and binds directly to the heavy metals that are currently overwhelming your liver, so your body can finally flush them out. If you want to understand exactly how this simple bulb manages your brain chemistry and repairs your cardiovascular system while you sleep, you need to look at the very first step. Because there is a trap. Swallowing a whole garlic clove will do absolutely nothing. We eat garlic because it makes food taste incredible. You mince it, toss it into a hot pan, and let it sizzle in olive oil. The smell fills the kitchen, making it the foundation of almost every great savory dish. We love it because heat transforms it into something rich and mellow. But there is an uncomfortable biological truth here. That delicious cooked garlic does very little for your deepest sleep cycles or your liver at 2 a.m. When you drop garlic into a hot pan, you get the amazing flavor, but its most powerful biological effects are severely reduced. Here is why. A fresh whole garlic clove does not actually contain its active biological compound yet. It has to be activated first. Inside the whole clove, the plant keeps two fragile chemicals locked inside completely separate microscopic cells. You might wonder why a plant would separate its own chemistry like this. It is actually an ancient evolutionary defense mechanism. When an insect bites into a growing garlic bulb in the soil, the cells crush together, instantly creating this reactive, burning sulfur to fend off the attack. When you crush it on your cutting board, you are simply hijacking a millions of years old botanical defense system and using it for human cellular repair. When you crush or slice the clove, you break the cell walls between them. The two chemicals crash into each other to start a reaction, creating a brand new, highly reactive sulfur compound called allicin. This new molecule is the specific biological key that clears your bloodstream. But the enzyme driving this chemical reaction is incredibly sensitive to heat. The moment it hits a hot pan, the enzyme is instantly incapacitated. The reaction stops and the allicin degrades into much weaker compounds. Even if you avoid the pan and try the hardcore health trend of swallowing a freshly crushed raw clove immediately, it still fails. Your stomach acid neutralizes the enzyme before the activation process can fully finish. To actually arm the compound, you have to treat it like a precise chemical experiment. You crush it, leave it on the cutting board, and let oxygen fuel the reaction for exactly 10 minutes. During these 10 minutes, the activation completes and the highly reactive sulfur structure stabilizes. You are no longer looking at a simple cooking ingredient. You have just created a biologically active compound, and when this stabilized sulfur enters your blood, it goes directly to work on the hidden cause of your bad sleep. Now, what exactly happens when that 10-minute aged raw garlic hits your system before bed? To understand this, you have to look at why you are actually waking up in the middle of the night in the first place. For most people who struggle with sleep, the problem isn't their brain, it is their liver. Between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., your body goes through a designated metabolic clearing phase. Your liver acts like a high-performance filter, trying to scrub daily metabolic waste and heavy metals from your bloodstream. But here is the problem. Modern diets and environmental toxins often overwhelm this filter. It gets congested. When we say toxins, we are not talking about abstract concepts. We are talking about microscopic traces of heavy metals from old water pipes, residual pesticides from unwashed produce, and oxidized seed oils from highly processed foods. Over decades, these elements create a physical sludge inside your hepatic pathways, making it brutally difficult for your liver cells to process normal daily waste. When the liver struggles to flush these toxins out, it has to work dramatically harder. This intense metabolic effort generates excess heat. To stay in a deep, restorative sleep cycle, your body requires a strict drop in core temperature. When this continuous metabolic heat from your overworked liver prevents your body from cooling down, your nervous system interprets this as physical stress. It triggers a release of cortisol, abruptly waking you up. You stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m., feeling wide awake but completely exhausted. This is exactly where the activated garlic steps in and breaks this cycle. The stabilized allicin you created on your cutting board is a highly active sulfur donor. In biology, sulfur acts as the ultimate binder for heavy metals. It works incredibly similar to chemical Velcro. As these sulfur molecules circulate through your liver, they bind directly to the heavy metals and persistent toxins that are blocking your natural filter. They capture them and escort them safely out of the body. With the blockage removed, your liver can finally finish its clearing cycle smoothly and efficiently. It stops generating excess metabolic heat. Your core temperature stays perfectly low, your cortisol never spikes, and you sleep straight through the night without ever realizing your body just executed a massive detox protocol. But the liver detox is only half the story. While your liver is binding those heavy metals, another part of that activated garlic is heading straight for your chest. Most people hate the idea of garlic breath, especially an overnight one. But biologically speaking, that scent is actually a medical mechanism at work. When the stabilized sulfur compounds enter your bloodstream, they are highly volatile. They travel through your circulatory system until they reach the microscopic air sacs in your lungs. As you exhale through the night, these compounds naturally vaporize. For 6 to 8 hours while you sleep, your lungs are slowly releasing a natural antimicrobial gas. It acts exactly like a slow drip internal nebulizer. Any airborne pathogens, bacteria, or minor respiratory germs you inhaled during the day are bathed in this reactive sulfur. The garlic compounds neutralize these invaders before they can attach to your respiratory tissue and trigger a full-blown immune response. This is incredibly important for your sleep quality. Minor germs cause microinflammation in your respiratory tract, which subtly narrows your airways when trying to sleep. Why does this matter? Because when your respiratory tract is even slightly inflamed, your blood oxygen saturation drops by just 1 or 2%. Your brain notices this instantly. It registers a mild suffocation risk and pulls you out of deep regenerative slow-wave sleep into a lighter sleep stage just to make you breathe harder. These are called microarousals. You don't consciously remember waking up, but your deep sleep architecture is completely ruined. By neutralizing these germs overnight, the sulfur prevents that inflammation. Your airways stay completely open, allowing you to pull in maximum oxygen with every single breath. But before you head to the kitchen to chop up a clove tonight, a serious warning. Raw, activated garlic is chemically aggressive. If you eat it on a completely empty stomach, or if you chew it like normal food, it can trigger immediate acid reflux. This discomfort could easily keep you awake and completely wipe out the benefit you are trying to achieve. Here is the exact biological protocol to get the sleep and liver benefits without irritating your digestive tract. Take 1 very small clove, crush it flat. Set a timer for exactly 10 minutes to let the compound activate and stabilize. When the 10 minutes are up, do not chew it. Instead, scoop up the crushed pieces with half a teaspoon of raw honey or a small amount of olive oil. The honey or fat acts as a metabolic buffer. It safely coats the active sulfur compounds, preventing them from attacking your stomach lining. Instead, it acts as a smooth carrier, transporting the biology directly into your small intestine, where it is efficiently absorbed into your bloodstream. Swallow it just like a small pill about 30 minutes before you go to sleep. In the beginning, start with just a quarter of a clove to test how your digestive system handles the potency, and never take more than one small clove a day. When you follow this precise method, you fundamentally change how you interact with your food. You stop treating a plant like a simple flavor enhancer and start using it as a highly specific biological tool. The fascinating part is that the exact compounds capable of clearing our airways, lowering our core temperature, and protecting our deepest sleep aren't always locked away in laboratories. They are sitting right in our kitchens. They just require you to know the correct chemical sequence to unlock them.